Perfect. So let's dive
Oh,
right in. I want to make sure I say your name correctly. Is it Balkar?
yeah, Bulgar.
Balkar. I just want to make sure I say it correctly.
hmm
So Balkar, how long have you been in real estate now?
I would say 7 months. 7 months. Yeah,
And
yeah.
which brokerage?
EXP Realty.
EXP. And what inspired you to get into real estate?
Honestly, for me, it was financial freedom.
Hmm.
I saw it as a way that I can connect myself to other people that were already they knew about real estate, they know the ins and outs, and I wanted to invest my money in somewhere where I knew was going to compound and grow and make some passive income for myself. Because for me, it's like I had a job in the military, and a lot of the time I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out and afford to be able to live on my own because you see all these news stories about these veterans getting out and they have no way to afford to live for
Yeah.
themselves.
A lot of
So
them have PTSD too, don't they?
yeah, exactly. And it makes it double hard to kind of like go out there and get a civilian job. So I kind of took my last 2 years in the Navy, spent some time educating myself with some financial literacy, learning about investments. I tried putting away a decent amount before I got out to make sure I had like, a good savings
Hmm.
and then invested the rest. So I know that I'm still in my early 20s, so it has time to grow. And then the rest, I was like, all right, I'm going to use this money. I'm going to try to use this as a kind of savings, so I can make sure I can try to do this real estate thing and have enough time to do it with, because obviously everyone's always said like, oh, first couple months, you're not going to be,
Selling.
not going to be making much. You're learning more, So that was kind of my intention.
And now you're qualified for the VA loan now, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah, I am.
Nice.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
so because you did mention the words passive income, and so it sounds like your goal is to be an investor.
For the most part, yeah. It definitely is investing. I do this because I do like helping people. So I did see it as a way to kind of like, okay, what's a job that I can be out there and helping people one on one in person, you know? Because it like the military helps you do that, but it's not like you're not really seeing the effect of it. They always tell you that. They're like, you're helping out thousands of millions of Americans, but you're not really feeling that. Like right now, I'm like I feel and when I talk to my clients, they really feel like there's some sort of like real genuine care.
Yeah, it sounds like, but before when you were in the military, you weren't getting that face-to-face gratitude. You were just kind of fighting across seas, and you
Yeah,
weren't really seeing the benefits face-to-face. And now it sounds like
exactly.
you like to see the people face-to-face, and you like to interact with people face-to-face. So it seems like this is the perfect job for you. So.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear to the audience that being a realtor and being an investor are two different things. And of course, being a realtor can help, access to MLS, but at the end of
hmm
the day, you still need that money to be an investor,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
A lot of people think, oh, well, now he's a realtor, so now he investing will be super easy. Like, no, like we still
hmm
need that money. It's not just about being a realtor. We need that capital, right?
Yeah, of course. That's what it is with investments in general. It's not your way out. It's just a way to make it easier.
So
So
tell us about your first year so far. You said 7 months. So t t tell us about it so far.
so before I got out or started my real estate journey, I spent a significant time just getting licensed. So I've been out for about say a year and like change. So about 7 months, I'd say. And then so far it's been pretty discomforting.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. I mean, it's discomforting because you're just in a new place, doing a new thing at a new job and doing one of the hardest jobs as well, because there's no one coming from a very like structured background with the military.
Hmm.
You're now on your own doing everything you can and want to do, but you need more structure than ever to make sure that it gets done, you know? So it's definitely a journey, you know?
You know, it's funny because a lot of people when they come out of military, when they and also when they come out of jail, they're kind of like a lot of people are like kind of like a little bit lost because in the military you're told exactly what to do and when to do it and how to do it. And in the real
Hmm.
world, you got to make your own schedule. You got to eat your
Yes,
own food, you got to make your own agenda, and a lot of people don't have that skill, correct?
exactly. Yeah, no, totally. It's because you get used to what you're used to. Like all you had to think about before was just doing. You didn't have to think about what to do and how to do. You already, they already told you how to do it. They already told you what to do. Now you have to do all three, you know?
Yeah, so I'll tell you straight up, like my first year, I didn't close any deals at all. Like it was just learning, learning, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot in my first year, but the first year, like you said, I feel like the first year is mostly just for learning, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I've learned so much, and every month I feel like is like I've learned as three times as much or four times as much as the last month. So it's kind of compounding on itself. Like every month I'm like, wow, I wouldn't even thought about doing this last month, or I wouldn't be able to even have the confidence or the skill to do this last month. So it's allowed me to like really push myself past my limits that the limits that I had, because you don't really feel limited until you realize um that there's so much that you don't know. And then the more you do know, then you have the ability and the confidence to go on and do it, do more of it, and then go learn something else, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is every month.
Yeah, I feel like also, the word that I was missing was experiment. I feel like the first year should just
Yeah.
be experimenting,
Yeah.
trying cold calling, trying door knocking, trying realtor.com, trying Zillow, trying social media, trying EDDM. The whole first year should be just experimenting the entire
Hmm.
time. And then the second year should be doubling down on what worked.
Right. Exactly. I feel like a lot of times you don't get enough time to really see if something works. Because a lot of times there's always someone out there that says it works, right?
Yep.
It's just how long have they been doing it? So you can experiment with all of them and all of them might work, but it's just which one do you give the most time? It's like the grass may be green on the other side, but which one grows faster? It's the one that you water, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta water the one that you want to grow.
Well,
So
from what I've seen, it seems like every suggestion works to a certain extent. Like cold
yeah.
calling does work, door knocking does work, realtor.com does work, Zillow.com
Hmm.
does work. It seems like they all work to a certain extent. Just some work better than others, and some people,
Hmm.
prefer others. Like for example, like
Hmm.
I'm a social media guy. Like I love building my social media. Like I'm jealous of the realtors who just get a bunch of leads through social media. That's like my
Yeah.
goal to reach like thousands of followers. So I just get a bunch of leads through social media. So from what I see, it seems like everything works, just some better than others and some fit better than others, but they all work, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like you have a set of skills, right? And then you go out and choose which one you can generate the most amount through the skills that you have. And some people have a lot of skills in talking and being out there in social media. And some people are better in person, and some people are better over the phone. So if you already have those skills, now you just need to do what you can to enhance them, you know? And the hours the repetition that you put into it is gonna only make that better. And
And
it's only gonna
you cold
focus
call,
in.
correct?
I did calling for a bit. It was mostly for just like figuring out where, kind of feeling it out and figuring out like, okay, this is for me, this is not for me. But I didn't really stay with it that long because it didn't feel like I was really genuinely getting any connection with them.
So where do you
Like
get your leads from now?
right now, my mentor is helping me a lot. Like I've been doing open house calls. A lot of times when you have an open house, other other neighbors in the area. They're like, wow, that one's being sold for that much. I wonder how much mine is being sold for. So you can go and talk to them, have that conversation. I like presenting them with like a detailed information on how that happens and what I do to get figure out what their home is worth. And I present them with like a letterhead or a flyer.
Mm.
And then I just keep on contacting them every now and then. My mentor kind of taught me something that was very interesting. She's called it like the seven. You need seven conversations before you really they trust you in order to
Seven conversations.
yeah, with the
Never heard
same
that one.
person. They said that you got to have seven conversations with the person. You got to touch them in seven different ways in order for them to really feel like you can build a real relationship with them. So if you want to have that genuine like feel like they've seen you around, they and it's over a kind of like a different time span too. Like some people, they're ready to go. They trust you. They already know you're the favorite. They're ready. You know, they're out and they're pre-approved and but they want to sell their home. They already know you. They know your credentials. They think you're good. You're set for it. And other people, you just got to build that relationship with them and that you have to show them that the value that you bring to them.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
that's what makes real estate hard. The fact that you have to gain their trust because, a lot of people are very like slow to
Yeah.
trust, and then a lot of them already have friends who are realtors. So that makes it
Hmm.
hard because it's hard to get an absolute stranger to trust you, isn't it?
Of course. Yeah. I think that's just how we're wired, you know? Like human beings, we don't trust quickly because um
Well, some
it
people
back
do.
yes, some people do, but it I think it was like a human nature thing like back in the day. Like if you trust you just give your trust out to anyone, you don't know who's gonna be there at the end of the day that will be there for you or who's gonna backstab you. So um I think that building that trust is that important because you have to show that you're trustworthy, you know? If you're just going out there and you're just trying to like say that I'm trusting, anyone can say that, you know? You have to show that you're of value and that you can this huge uh like decision that people are making in their lives, get buying a home or selling a home. It's like a one or two times thing that they do in their entire life, you
Entire
know?
life, yep.
So you got to present the value equal to that amount of decision that they feel that they're making, you know? Like you have to be able to overcome that feeling, that doubt that like, hey, this person is gonna help me and support me through this entire process, you know?
Right, yeah.
So it's hard to come
Buying a
over that.
home, especially for the first time, can be a very, very scary process. So
Hmm.
a part of being a good realtor is making them comfortable and making them, helping them ease their anxiety. So there's even
Yeah.
some therapeutic aspects to real estate.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
walk us through a normal day in your shoes. What time do you wake up? Coffee or tea? What kind of
Mm.
coffee? Walk us through a normal day.
You know what? I used to wake up a little bit earlier. I would wake up at like, 8:30,
Uh,
7:30-ish. And I would typically, brush my teeth, get ready, and then my mom or sister needed a ride to work, so I'll drop them off, and then I'll head off to the office, grab some coffee. There's a little like kind of kiosk there, so I just grab them like a Starbucks thing,
oh, you go to
and then
Starbucks. Okay. What kind of
I,
coffee? Regular? What do you get?
I get the vanilla. I
French
just get the
vanilla?
bottle. Yeah, I just get the bottle,
Oh,
the
the
the one.
cold bottle, the cold
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I get the other one, but I feel like it's just quicker. Just grab the one out of the kiosk, you know.
Easier, I guess.
Yeah, and then I'll just grab like a big bar or a protein bar or something like that, just snack on.
Oh,
Then once lunch rolls
so
around,
protein bars are usually your breakfast?
yeah, I'll give it like a protein bar or like I have like this cereal called Morning Summit. It has a great like almonds, oats, dried raisins, stuff like that in there. That's a really good way to get your day going, you know. I'm also vegetarian, so I don't really eat
Oh,
meat.
you're vegetarian. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm having like bacon and eggs for breakfast.
Gotcha. Okay. So you
That's
go to
usually,
the office around what time do you arrive at the office around?
I'll say like 10,
Okay.
10. Sometimes later days 12. depending on if I had
Keep us
in
walking
early.
through. Keep.
Yeah.
So what that after? What after that?
After that, I usually set up my laptop and stuff, and I start like either calling back people, following up on them if I met them the prior day, if they told me like, hey, we're thinking about getting a place, or we're trying to see, and sometimes they're not ready yet, so
Mm.
you're just following up with them just to see if they can if they're ready for a conversation or something like that.
Right.
Other times, we just set they came to the open house and we're following up with them that way. So we're like, hey, I see that you came to the open house. Are there any other homes that you're looking at? Maybe we could set you up and we could send you some things that might help you. So we would do that, and then when they're ready, they'll reach out back and be like, "Oh, we saw these houses. Can you go and show them to me?" I'm like, "All right, cool. Yeah, I'll do that." Other times it's just other clients that I have, and I'm setting up appointments for them. So if they're gonna go want to go see a house, I'm like, "All right, give me a day, time, whatever, and I'll see if the agent is available those days, and we'll go see those houses." So that's basically what I'm doing for like a couple hours of the day is just servicing current clients or following up with people that I've met throughout the week. And then Saturday, Sundays, I usually reserve for either appointments or open houses.
Wow. So it
That's
sounds like you're
usually
working 7 days a week.
pretty much. Yeah.
That's life as a realtor, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
So
I
what time do
really
you leave the office?
I get a it depends on the day, but I'd say I usually end my day off around like 5.
Okay.
If I have like appointments, I'll probably be out of the office by like 4, 3. And if the appointments are early, I probably wouldn't even come in the office that day,
Wow.
you know? And maybe I come in later and then try to get some work done. Like yesterday, I think I left like 7 or 8 because
And
I
just to
came
be
in and
clear,
said,
going into the office is 100% choice. It's not
yeah,
mandatory at all. It's 100% choice,
no,
right? So
yeah.
one of my favorite questions to ask people, what inspires you to go into the office when you have a computer at home?
For me, it's just distractions.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of like a switch for me. Like honestly, I think it stemmed from the military because I always went into an office
Oh, I see.
and I had to
The
go into the
military, you were in
office.
an office in the military?
Yeah, I mean it's a facility. It's a facility.
Okay.
We had like little like kind of spaces for each crew.
Uh-huh.
Each space we had to like we took that space and then we planned everything out. We certified there, everything like that. And trained and everything like that there. So, and it was also like we trained with material that we couldn't take home. So if you wanted to learn, train, and study, you had to do it there.
Interesting.
So it was a good way for me to kind of like switch. Hey, this is my personal life. This is everything where I'm living and doing all my personal stuff, and I'm able to kind of like turn off my work portion. And then when I get into the office, like switch on. The day starts and you can just, all you need to do is just work. And we typically didn't even have our phones with us when we were at work in the military. So
Right.
it was no distractions at all. Now it's like everything you do in real estate, you got to do through your phone or your computer. So
It sounds like
you,
being at in the office helps you focus.
yeah. Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
interesting because I'm one of those agents who like I barely ever go to the office. Like I feel
Hmm.
like I just work, I actually focus better at home because like for example,
Hmm.
cold calling. Like I don't like cold calling in front of other people. Like I don't want the other agents hearing me cold call. Like I'd rather cold call in my own house, you know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. No, I feel that. I think it for me it's pressure.
Hmm.
Like if I feel a good amount of pressure to do something, I'm gonna do it. But if I have no pressure, oh man, I'll do like absolutely
Where
nothing.
does that pressure come from?
I think it's just being like being public.
So it
Just
sounds like the pressure comes from other people.
I think so. I think that's a part of it. Yeah. I think it's a pressure of I put on myself as well, you know. to
Yeah.
perform when I know that other people are expecting, have expectations, and then also meeting my own expectations. I think it's a little combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
because
of people perform better under pressure,
mhm,
and a lot of people only perform under pressure. So
mhm.
let's move on to the next question. What is your favorite thing about being a realtor?
I think my favorite thing is meeting people, honestly. Like sometimes it can be scary, but then other times it can be like, wow, I just met this cool guy and he had one of the like he has so much life experience and so much that he knows, and I'm guiding him through this experience of showing him homes, and he's seeing these things for the first time, and for me it's like the 100th time, you know.
Yep.
Um, I think the other part is I come from like my job in the military was being an analyst. So I love getting the details of things. I love looking at listings. I love knowing about like what time when the house is built, all the amenities in there,
The detail.
the details of the thing, and then presenting that in a way that you can to the client where they feel like, wow, this guy really did all the work on my behalf, and I don't have to do any of it, you know. And getting that feedback from the client saying that they know and they feel that, you know. I think it's just that genuine like they see the effort that you put in, and doing it all step one through C. It's I really find a lot of that fun.
Yeah,
I think it's
it seems
yeah,
like the most common answer to this question is it has to do with helping other people, which that I mean I feel like if you are not about helping other people, you probably belong in a different business. So
yeah.
I'm going to ask you a kind of a tricky question, one of my favorites. What is your
Mhm.
least favorite thing about being a realtor?
Oh, there's plenty.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Um, sometimes I feel like the structure of it is difficult to get the discipline that you need for it. Getting up every day, doing the same thing, mundane stuff every day, even when you don't have any clients, trying to figure out how to produce more, planning it out. Like I like planning, but if I don't have like a reason or like a thing that I already know beforehand, it's like making the ideas, figuring out what the next thing to do is. Business planning. Business planning is like one of the like things I love doing but hate doing at the same time because there's so much that goes into it, but at the same time, like I love the numbers, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I think there's some days like I don't feel like going out to go shows homes, you know. I think I love doing it, but at the same time, some days I'm just like, damn, I don't want to go out all the way out to 30 minutes that way or somewhere like that where I'm like, I don't want to go show this house today, you know. But other days I feel great and I want to go out and see them and show them the house, and I feel like I set up a great presentation for them, a great home set of homes for them to see that day. I think it really is for me. It's more just like the same things sometimes can burn you down over time.
The
The same thing that
monotony.
you love. Yeah, exactly. Like you're doing the same thing, and some days are great, some days are bad, you know, but you're doing the same exact thing. Some days you like doing it, some days you don't, you know. The same thing that I hate about it, same things I dislike about it, you know.
Like same shit, different buyer, right?
Yeah, yeah, oh, man. I mean, I love one of the things I actually hated, and it took me a while, and now I love was just making marketing material.
Hmm.
Like I thought I hated it, but then I hopped on Canva and I made a couple ones, and I was like, wow, this is really great. I'm always a person in the details and stuff, and I use like chat GPTs, and they'll like kind of give me some advice on how to make it better and whatnot. But I would use that, and I'll keep on changing it and reiterating it, and like, and And at first I was like, damn, this looks like crap. I don't want to present this to anyone. And then at the end, like after like a couple hours or days or whatever of doing it, I'm like, wow, this is really great. Like I would love to see this. Yeah, if someone presented this to me, I would definitely take it. So that was kind of like one of the things. I think everything eventually turns into something you like once you get good at it. But when you're not good at it, you really hate it.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Well, it's also interesting because there's also another philosophy that if you're doing what you like 40, 50 hours a week, then you'll end up not liking it. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
the reverse of what you said. So it's interesting. But
Hmm.
I understand like real estate can be very monotonous and we're not getting paid by the hour. So like people
No.
like for the people that are listening that are thinking about getting into real estate, nothing is guaranteed. You're not getting paid by the hour. You're not getting paid
Hmm.
by the year. You're getting paid by the closing.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's not your regular 9 to 5 where you can
Hmm.
go home every night thinking I got paid today. Like it's more like once a month or twice a month if you're lucky. I mean
Yeah.
the top agents sell like once or twice a month and
Yeah.
so 29 out of 30 days they're going home thinking I didn't get paid
Hmm.
today.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that mindset shift is huge. If you don't feel like if the paycheck that hits your bank account is what motivates you, oh man, you're gonna have a rough time.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a real rough time. For me, I figured out a way to kind of give me that same kind of like feeling through just like, all right, what did I do today that progressed something that I needed to do? What is something I did today that I didn't get done yesterday? You know, what did I get done today that satisfied someone's need? You know, if you hit one of those like kind of check marks, you're progressing. It's kind of hard to track progression in that way if you're not like finding a way to make yourself feel like there's some progression happening. And sometimes it's just support from like my mentor or other people around me. They're like, wow, you're doing things or like great job, because sometimes I'm a person that I don't give myself the most credit. So like I'm pushing myself all the time. So if I don't push myself to the hardest ability, I feel like I left something in the tank, and then sometimes you don't give yourself the satisfaction. But then when other people that support you and they want to see you do well, they tell you that, then you're like, okay, if they're seeing it, then maybe I'm just not giving myself enough credit, because it's a balancing thing, like you want to give yourself enough credit to make yourself feel like you're doing well and you're pushing the goal line further. But at the same time, you don't want to give yourself too much credit and you're not like doing anything and you're telling all these people that you're doing all these great things and you're not,
Yeah,
and
I
that
mean, in life in general, it's like we want to like kind of like stay hungry but be grateful at the same time. So
yeah,
like, I see what you're saying. So that's kind of
yeah.
like a life philosophy, and it's a very tricky balance.
Oh yeah.
Balkar, approximately how much per month do you spend into your business?
Right now I would say about 400,
Wow.
maybe less, honestly. It really depends because I split my things up based off of like annually. So that's how I think about it. Because obviously you have your MLS fees and that's like a couple of 200 something bucks every month. And then I have my brokerage fees. I also have like a separate business line, so that costs like about 30 something a month. Um, I'm also part of like a veteran network, and that one's only like 100 a year or something like that. So it all gets around to that much, I'd say. Uh, Probably more closer to like 200 mark, maybe.
Okay.
You know, I'd say it's closer to the 200 mark.
Which
Yeah.
actually, is kind of on the lower end when you think about it. I mean, the
Yeah.
top producing agents are spending like 1 to 3K a month or more, the top agents. So like
Yeah,
that's actually not that much for the people listening. Like,
yeah.
I want to emphasize that you got to spend money to make money in this job.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're all tools at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like the tools that make it easier to do what you need to do. And
Right.
if you're not spending the money to do it, then you gotta someone else is, and it's gonna be harder to make that business in the front end.
You're competing with the people that are spending money. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, how can you succeed, especially in the beginning, if you're competing
Hmm.
with the people who are spending thousands? Like there are
Yeah.
some like senior agents who slow down and who have such a large clientele that
Yeah.
can slow down. But when you're
Hmm.
new, you got to spend that bread.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm someone that's a little more frugal with my money. I spend what I need to and not what
Smart
I have,
man.
not what I want to. So like I join the brokerages and the places where I know that I don't need to present spend so much on marketing and all that stuff. But once a client comes and we have to start, getting around and I need to put marketing material up for them, then you have to spend it. Yeah. Um,
It's the business.
yeah, that's how it is. I definitely am a more of a person that you got to make money to spend money, but at the same time, like if there's no one walking through your door right now that's giving you business, then you gotta spend a little to get a little.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways, like I pay for realtor.com right now, and actually it's about
Hmm.
to end, but I know people who pay for Zillow.com, and there's so many different ways, and it seems like the more expensive ways tend to be
Hmm.
more effective, like Zillow.com, for example.
Hmm.
So my next question, Bakar, how would you respond to people who say that realtors are overpaid?
Mm. I would say you're spending your money for experience and knowledge. So if you want to spend months going through gruesome times and figuring it out all on your own, you're gonna pay for it, you know? So like you could spend even now while I'm going through some of these experiences with some of the clients that I have, if I was a client trying to do that on my own, I don't think I ever would have bought a house, you know? Like it would be impossible, especially in the market we have right now. The supply is so low. Every buyer that has more cash and less and doesn't have to worry too much about how much down they're putting or they're putting down a lot. You're trying to compete with that is nearly impossible. And there's certain things that you see on listings that normal people can't see because they're not part of our association.
Hmm.
So like you don't know that the property is going through foreclosure or short sale or that it is in dire need of repair. But the photos don't tell you that, you know? Zillow.com doesn't tell you that. I mean, sometimes they tell you foreclosure, but there's like real estate owned, bank owned, and all these kind of properties that are under those subsets, they take months before you can actually close on them. But they don't tell you that, you know? So it's a lot it allows you to cut the time short
Hmm.
and get to what you need to quicker, which is getting the house, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, I think that like, yeah, sure. Maybe if you're a well-experienced person in real estate, it's not your first time buying a house, then maybe you feel like they're overpaid, then great. Or maybe you just haven't found the realtor for you.
Well, it's
You
it's
know?
important to consider also like all
Yeah.
the flakes and all the buyers that flaked on us and all the
Hmm.
trainings and the money and just
Hmm.
there's so much that we have to go through and so many flakes that people don't understand. Like sometimes it could take 20, 30 buyers to get to one actual real buyer that closes. So a lot of people don't take
Exactly.
that into consideration.
Yeah.
Bakar, do you view other realtors as competition?
I think I view them as competition, but more as in a friendly way, not as in like, hey, this person's gonna take my business or something like that, because I feel like that's like a dichotomy, you know? Like that's not true. Like if the business was to be taken, then it would be Like they would have to be somewhere. Someone has to be getting it and someone has to be losing it.
Yep.
But you never had it to begin with, you know?
Right. Right.
The client chooses based off of what they see as most valuable. And you can't be all things to all people, you know? So I sometimes I really connect with certain people and some people I don't connect with. Like I'm sure like if a person was only able to speak like Spanish, right? And they need a Spanish speaking realtor, I didn't lose that client. Like I never had him. There would have been no way for me to make that work. There would have been no way to communicate with him. I could have probably, but why make that client go through that experience instead of just giving him a realtor that can help him and make it his time like more efficient, you know?
A realtor that would be objectively better for him because he speaks Spanish.
Yes.
And, you know,
Yeah.
it's safe to
Yeah.
say that some realtors work better with some people, and that there's no realtor
Hmm.
who there's no one size fits all, right? There's no realtor
Yeah.
who works best with everyone. And a lot of
Hmm.
people, to be a little blunt, a lot of people prefer their own race, a lot of people prefer their own nationality, and there's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with that. But
Yeah.
do you have an LLC?
No, no, I've been meaning to get one, but I haven't gotten an LLC yet. I
Yeah.
think that'll help for the future though.
Yeah, what so, I mean, let me know. You know, you can call me off because I have an accountant and I have all that stuff,
Hmm.
so he can help you set that up. But you know,
Okay.
they say that once the ball gets rolling and once you start making more money, then you know, even though it does cost money to get an LLC, it's definitely
Hmm.
worth it once the cash flow is there.
All right.
Bakar, how do you filter clients?
Um, I kind of filter them through, uh, for me, it's like, where do I see them? Where do I find them? You know, are they in a place where they're actively looking to do some sort of real estate or learning to kind of learn real estate? Or are they just asking questions that like that they found on social media, you know? Like, are they just looking at interest rates and like looking at what the news media is telling them, or are they actively out there seeing and on boots on ground, like trying to do real estate? Um, because I'll entertain them, you know. I'll be like, hey, like I do real estate. I can help you whenever and any needs that you need. But and I follow up with them and whatnot, and I try to educate them and try to like let them know how it actually is, and not just like how they feel or what their parents have told them or what media has told them, you know.
Yep.
Um, and then that's kind of so like for me, it's like this, right? I know that someone's serious because they have a reason, a real reason. Like they're moving to a different job in a different area. They're they're getting through a divorce. Uh, their parents passed away and they had to sell their home. Um, what the interest rate is doing is not a real reason. If the interest rate low is not a real reason. It's always that's just the fluctuation of the market, you know? The market is going to fluctuate. Some people take advantage of that, you know? But in this market, you need a real reason. Like you need a reason because your kids are going to school in a different area and you need to move over there, you know? Those are reasons that like their entire life is changing, so their property and their location is to change. If they're more of an investor, then they know more about it, so they're not scared to fall in and look at the interest rates because they know that real estate is a long game. You're going to hold it for longer. You're going to build that equity, and your portfolio is going to thank you for that. You know, if they're in the beginning stages, they're not ready for that yet. So what they need is education. They don't need to be out there looking at homes yet.
Right. And
And
also,
yeah,
it's important to keep in mind that when interest rates go down, home prices often go up. So, you know,
exactly.
it's not, I don't know if it's a great reason or not. It's
Hmm.
debatable. You know, some people say it is, some people say it isn't, but
Hmm.
it's important to remember that seesaw effect. Balkar, well, actually, it brings me to my next question. Do you think the interest rates and home prices will lower anytime soon?
I do believe they will, but I don't think the people realize that it's not really going to help. Like it's going to help them in the long run if you bought a house and you want to refinance your interest rate, great. But if the interest rates go down, home prices, like you said, are going to go up. Once people see that the rates are down, people are going to start buying more. And that's going to cause the valuation of these homes to go up because they're paying more for them, you know? So I think that it's a factor, but it's one of many factors, you know? Like it's not the only one. It matters, but you have to realize you get a home now, the price that you get at it is probably going to be better and you can finance later than try to wait for the interest rates to drop down and then go buy a house that costs $200,000 more than last year or the couple years prior to, you know? So I think they might come down, but I don't think they're going to come down as far as like 2%, 3% or anything like that. I think
Yeah.
we'll probably see maybe 4 or 5, you know?
Even four would be great if it goes down to four. That would be amazing if that happened.
Hmm.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
it does reach four. But like we said, and not to sound like a broken record, but then the home prices might go up. So like
Hmm.
four, four would be amazing. So Balkar,
Yeah.
what is your long-term plan?
My long-term plan is honestly, I want to be doing real estate for at least the next 10 years or longer. And then by then, hopefully have a couple investment properties that I can use either as a long hold or as a way of bringing in rental income. And then besides that is just achieving that financial independence is what what I know that the internet likes to call it. But it's more of just using that way to kind of work because I want to, not because I have to, you know, because I can do what I love to do instead of what I have to do and kind of get out of what people call like the rat race. I'm
Yeah.
trying to live that no debt life.
Yeah, well, I mean, I mean, honestly, to a certain extent, you're already out the rat race because remember,
Yeah.
real estate is not like a 9 to 5 job where, I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, we do have a broker, but like the broker doesn't really like give orders, like I don't know about yours, but my broker doesn't really give orders. So like to a
No.
certain extent, you're already, in my opinion, you're already out the rat race. Like you're already more than halfway there.
Yeah.
Alcar, do you have any tips for new agents?
Give yourself some time.
Good one. Yeah.
I would say give yourself as much time as you can, but don't, if you feel like you can push yourself and have people around you that are pushing you and not like being a little more laid back because it's very easy. You can spend years being around people that don't push you and you make no progress whatsoever.
Mhm.
But once you find that one or two people that really are pushing it and they want to see and they see that you're trying to do the same, they're gonna try to help you out. Now you feel the pressure.
Yep.
Now you feel like the people around you are doing more, so you're gonna want to do more. And that's only just gonna kind of like leapfrog into each other, you know? They're gonna push you, you're gonna push them, they're gonna push you, they're gonna push them. Sometimes in the beginning, it's them just pushing you, and that pressure is not gonna feel good. And you're gonna push back as much as you can, just like how everyone does. If someone pushes you, you're gonna push back. But you have to realize they're pushing you because they've been in your exact position, you know? So I would definitely try to sponge in all that knowledge as you can, but at the same time realize just try to figure out what your personality type is
Mm.
and what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are and try to lean more into those things, you know?
Yeah, and like you said, just that kind of add on, try to spend time with agents that will push you and that will give you constructive criticism and that are
Mhm.
very ambitious and try to avoid, the more lazy, the less ambitious people because they will slow you down. Balkar, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Top Veteran Agent. I do have my own website where you can contact me for any real estate needs. Balkar.Singh or balkarsingh.exprealty.com. I'm on every social media platform, Facebook. You can probably find me on there. I think I just go by Balkar Singh on there. TikTok, YouTube,
Yeah, I'll
everything.
put your links below. And
Yeah,
just for the people listening, th this is a real estate interview, but maybe next week and or maybe the week after, Balkar and I will have a mental health interview. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be on a different channel, but I'll put the link below. Balkar, it was great talking to you, man.
you too, man. I love it, brother.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too.
Take care. Bye.